Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Board of Education's regular meeting, December 5th, 2023. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Trustee Mitchell? Trustee Middleton?
Present.
Trustee Njenga?
Here.
Trustee Gale? Trustee Lency?
Here.
Trustee White?
Present.
Trustee Saunders?
Here.
Vice President Kelly? President Kerwin?
Here.
We have a quorum. There is no legal requirement to recognize public comment at meetings of the Board of Education. However, the Board recognizes the critical importance of community discourse and involvement in the education of Mount Vernon's children, and accordingly, members of the public are invited to speak at each regularly scheduled Board meeting, subject to the terms of the Board policy. Please state your name, address, and the organization, if any, you represent. A speaker must register in advance by no later than 4 p.m. the day of the meeting by contacting the district clerk in person at 165 North Columbus Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, by phone at 914-665-5235, or by email. The Board welcomes all respectful comments, whether praise or criticism. However, identifying and criticizing a specific student, parent, teacher, administrator, other Mount Vernon education official, or employee is strictly prohibited. Any such complaint must be presented and addressed through the proper administrative channels. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to speak. Up to 1 additional minute may be used for the speaker to summarize and conclude their remarks. If appropriate, Board trustees and or the superintendent or other staff members at the direction of the superintendent may immediately respond to a speaker's remarks. Our first speaker tonight is Cynthia Crenshaw.
Okay, good evening. For those that know and for those that don't know. I ran.
Ms. Crenshaw, please.
Hello? Can you hear? Okay. For those that know anyway. I ran for a board seat on May 23rd and lost by 3 votes. However, I appealed that because no one from my group was allowed to witness the opening of the votes. However, I lost the appeal because of this statement. The argument is unveiling. Respondent submits an affidavit from this district clerk asserting that the public was in fact invited to observe the opening and tallying of absentee ballots on the evening of the election. And that, this is the kicker, numerous observers did so. They witnessed the tallying of the votes in the room. Okay? That is a bold-faced lie. Absolutely no one was allowed to witness the opening of the ballots. And when we was told the lawyer who represented the board was present. However, I said the lawyer does not represent me, but the current board. Therefore, if they can lie on me, a non-paying position, what is the status of the superintendent position, which is costing the taxpayers approximately $1.5 million. $1.5 million. Both making 6 figures, and in one position receiving $400 a day, which equals between $8,000 and $9,000 per month. If there's no there on the person sitting home, get a 6-figure salary, bring them back, and if there is something on them, release them. Let's be clear. This is nothing personal against anyone in this position. Incoming for a taxpayer is approximately $300,000 a year. 60% of our dollar goes to the board and 40% goes to the city. The phase 1 review of the grant file that you put out on May of 2023, I don't believe it would hold up in the TV's People's Court with all the he say and she say. And like I said, the medium is $300,000. paying $500,000 to one position, and the people doing the hardest work, like our teachers who is molding our kids, cannot get a decent, fair contract. Start a superintendent search release and put that six-figure salary back in the budget. It will be approximately 1 year that this unnecessary practices have took place. Stop this madness. The only board in Westchester paying $500,000 for one position is Mount Vernon, which we cannot afford. Also, how much are we paying the lawyers? I could not dig that up, and I tried looking in the dark books, whatever, in the budget. How much are we paying them for dragging their feet on this situation? And are you anticipating starting a superintendent search, or are we going to continue paying $500,000? Okay, that's it. I hope I can get some type of answer tonight.
Our next speaker, John Gallagher. John Gallagher? Okay.
Good evening. My name is John Gallagher. I reside at 165 East Livonia Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York. This is, I don't know who is this. First slide presentation. I'm here tonight to talk about financing with the school district. One of the dirtiest words in our English language is pilots. If you don't know what a pilot is, I'm not talking about American Airlines or JetBlue. I'm talking about the indignity that's done to the taxpayers of Mount Vernon, here in Mount Vernon, through the IDA, the Industrial Development Agency. What they do is they allow developers, carpetbaggers, to come into this town, and they allow them not to pay taxes. They pay what are called payment in lieu of taxes, which, by the way, amount to maybe about $30,000 a year instead of paying millions of dollars in taxes. Guess who picks up the difference of that? We do. The hardworking taxpayers of Mount Vernon. It's got to stop. And they're in the process right now of trying to put through another one. I spoke against it at the IDA meeting this past week, and I let them know that there's a number of taxpayers that were there and listening in. We're tired of this nonsense. 62% of your taxes go to the school district. I suggested to them that this board should process the lawsuits against them. We have every right not to indulge in their ridiculous financial misbehavior of these pilot programs. The school district is 62% of our taxes. These developers will walk away if they can't get away with that. They walk away with, and by the way, these pilots aren't a couple of years. They last for 20, 30 years, where they pay no taxes, send 30, 40, 50 kids to our school district, we pick it up. Not to mention the services that are provided. Moving on, I had the opportunity to talk to our controller of the city. He told me that approximately $350,000 has been given to the school district over the last couple of months. I'd like to know where this money is going. I hope it's being put in a reserve fund for people, and that it's only used to offset subsequent taxes that will be coming to us taxpayers. By the way, the city tax increase this year under our mayor, re-elected mayor, which was a mistake, is 7.71% based on ridiculous revenues. I spoke at the Board of Investment meeting letting them know that their revenues are way overestimated. They're not going to make that money. So the increase is going to be a lot more than 7.71%. In addition to the 12% she's hit us with over the last 2 years in this city, and jobs that she's created for people she owes favors to, has got to stop. She wants to take control of the school board, of the school district. Can you imagine this? The mismanagement of this woman, what she's been doing to the city, can do to the school district. They tried to steal an election this last May, okay? It didn't work. We know who was behind it. The mayor definitely wants control of our school district. We've got to stop it. The last thing I want to talk about is school administration cost, okay? Right now, taxpayers are under a hard watch of what's going on here. Why are we paying two superintendents right now? There was allegations made based in the paper, based on definitely adequate information that is definitely legal bound. Why are we paying that salary to this superintendent? We need a school district where that money's going into the classroom, not into somebody's pocketbook. So I want to know why this board has not acted on the accusations that they have alleged about this previous superintendent, because, believe it or not, there's enough there. You do not need to take it to court. The FBI and the federal government are doing an investigation into our school district. But as we all know, it takes a long time for them, for their wheels to turn. However, the investigation that I saw, from the papers that I saw about and read about, there's enough there to stop this nonsense. We shouldn't be paying two salaries to two superintendents, period. Not in this school district. We don't have the money. Thank you. And I'm sorry about whatever happened here with this.
Tom Keller.
Thomas Keller, 12 Pasadena Place, 10552. There is another school district. I'm not sure it's Poughkeepsie or Peekskill. I get them mixed up. But in one of the two, there was a problem with the superintendent. They're paying the superintendent for the whole year to sit at home. And they're paying the acting superintendent. School board trustees over the years tend to be a soft touch when the lawyer for the defendant sits down with them. Pay them for a year, pay them for the remainder of their contract, multiple years. Anyway, I guess they're afraid to go to court and lose. Administrative creep, I'm calling this. I went on the website, and there's 15 people here under the title administration. About a year ago, I think there was less than 10. I'd have to go back in my files. And when you add the 16th person, the superintendent who's at home, we have 16 salaries we're paying. I think John Gallagher said that administration was 9.8%, and it should be 7 or 8%. He didn't say it tonight, but he said it in the past. And I don't know what New Rochelle and White Plains and Yonkers are like, but it seems like for a steady or declining enrollment, administrative creep keeps going on. The Mount Vernon Educational Foundation. On the website, there's 7 people listed here. I know them all except for one. Do they ever report to the trustees on the work they're doing? Getting scholarships, raising money for different things. It'd be nice if somebody, Eileen Justino, Paul Herrick, somebody like that that's on the board here would come and address the public and the trustees. It's an idea. School name changes. I kind of forgot about this, but A.B. Davis used to be the high school before Mount Vernon High School was built. Can't we call it the A.B. Davis STEAM Academy? Like the Denzel Washington Arts School, Performing Arts? You get rid of A.B. Davis a few years ago. And then there's 2 other schools. Holmes, Oliver Wendell Holmes, famous jurist, doesn't exist anymore. Columbus doesn't exist anymore. We have the Leadership Academy and the Honors Academy. What generic names are those? What do they signify? There's another school, in order to save money, there's another school in the district. Most of you probably know which one it is. It ought to be closed to save money. I brought this up a year ago. I haven't heard any study being done to close it, but it ought to be closed. And this business about Columbus, now it's the Honors Academy, a Leadership Academy. Is this another example of trying to get rid of Christopher Columbus? Like the freaking calendar has Indigenous Peoples Day? Instead of Columbus Day, it's a federal holiday. And the final thing is the teachers union. I call it the way it is. My wife's a retired school teacher from Mount Vernon, approximately 30 years. She retired 5 or 6 years ago. I don't like the idea of teachers' union supporting candidates for the school board or against the budget or for the budget. And when you have a signed agreement with the teachers' union, this should be in it. Now, individual people in the teachers' union or the principals' union, whatever other unions, they can go ahead and support who they want individually. But I don't want the assets of the teachers' union, I picked them out because they're the largest union, I don't want the phone banks and mailings and all this other stuff to influence these elections. So, I don't know if you have an agreement with the teachers' union at this time, but let's include that. Thank you.
That concludes our public comments. On to superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Last Friday, we had a swatting incident, and that swatting incident, we were one of 8 districts that receive email indicating that fire explosives was placed in classrooms. We involved all the necessary folks, including the police. We collaborated with New Rochelle. We spoke with board members, and we spoke to our security. We have safety as our top priority. We basically communicated with everyone, and we are hopeful that we don't ever receive an email of this nature again. I just wanted also to inform everyone to please take a look at, we have a weekly newsletter. It's called One Mount Vernon, and it provides information that we think that is very informative. Also, on a monthly basis, I tape conversations with Dr. Kim. I will be taping next week, and I will be interviewing the new principal. Next month, for January, I am inviting board members to come, and I will be interviewing trustees so that they could speak and have a conversation about the future of our district. I look forward to sending out a parent survey through what we call Thought Exchange. We want to discuss reorganization of our district. Parents keep calling, so we're going to throw it out to the parents in terms of what they see, the direction, or what they believe the direction we should go to. Should it be K-8? Should it be K-6? And then 7 and 8? We know that parents want to have input. They've been calling me on this matter, and we're going to have a survey in which everyone could have an input. There will be a winter carnival performance at the Denzel Washington School for the Arts on December 20th at 6:30. I asked that everyone come out. This is our holiday festival. Please come out and participate. I ask that all students, parents, stakeholders, please follow the chain of command. If there's any concerns within our classrooms, specifically, I ask students to begin with the teachers, then possibly speak with the principal. We believe...
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties, so we have to start.
For one moment.
Start over.
Excuse
me, we're having technical difficulties, so we have to stop and start briefly. Dr. Smith, please continue.
All right, so I'm going to go straight to, we have 2 reports. The first one is by Dr. Gail White-Wallace. She's the Director of Pre-K, Gifted and Talent and Special Projects. She will discuss digital homework.
Can you hear me? Good evening, everyone. Good evening to my colleagues at the seat, the board trustees, the students, and all of our citizens of Mount Vernon who are watching. So today we're going to start off with the first report on a vision that started in July of 2023. In July of 2023, our acting superintendent, Dr. K. Veronica Smith, was in her office racking her brains about what are we going to do to get students engaged? What are we going to say to the parents? What are we going to say to the staff members? And I don't know, Dr. Smith, if it came to you at home or while you were having some tea with Dr. Jones, because you know she loves her tea. But she came up with a motto and mantra for this school year, which is reading and writing, making learning fun. So the charge was to all of the administrators to make learning fun for students. And ladies and gentlemen, the most boring part of learning, I got some kids in here, can I get an amen, is homework. Yep. If you agree, raise your hand. Homework is whack. It's boring, it's tedious, it's time consuming, and you have the unmitigated gall and audacity to ask me to do it in my good, comfy house? Come on. So we had to challenge ourselves. And in the pre-K department, we are, of course, the pathway to college, but we are also creating learners for the 21st century. Tonight I have the pleasure of partnering with the technology department, Mr. Carlos Ramirez, our director of technology. Raise your hand. Thank you for all of your support. And we're also graced with the presence of Ms. Shawn Rowan, who is our RIC instructional technology guru who partners with our district on many different programs. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about how we make homework fun in pre-K. We're going to talk about how we're able to get over 86% of our students to complete homework weekly. We're going to talk about two platforms called Seesaw and Waterford and tell you how this vertically supports student learning from pre-K to first grade. How students can digitally manipulate tools on an iPad, which will help them grow by the end of the year to create their own PowerPoints. We're also going to talk about how these tools allow students to talk to their teacher, record, and do verbal book reports. We're going to talk about how you can catalog every student's activity and it will follow them through their academic year through pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade, creating digital portfolios. And last but not least, we love our parents. And our president, Trustee Kerwin, is big on parents. In both of these platforms, parents can in real time speak to teachers. They can DM them, they can direct message them, and it goes straight to the teacher's phones or Google Voice. In addition, parents can also see what their students are doing, and teachers put live comments and grading on their work. This is how we are engaging our families and making learning fun. You can keep cooking. Keep cooking. So, anybody who knows anything about Dr. White Wallace, it's all about doing. We are going to have our Board of Trustees do some pre-K homework. And we are going to live screencast it. Oh yes, we play no games here today. So, Board of Trustees, everybody has a custom iPad in front of them. Oh yeah, don't give me that side eye. I see you. You're going to double click. You're going to double tap your home button, and you should see your name. Yes, we created accounts for every last one of you. And we're going to image it up to the top. Is everybody in?
Okay,
Okay, so I'm going to take you through a little bit about what Dr. White had mentioned. This is a product we call Seesaw, or is called Seesaw, and the teachers engage with it with their students and their parents. They can utilize the messages here at the top. For the kids, they don't really see the messages on your screen because this is a way for the parents to communicate with their teacher and the teacher to communicate with the parents. They can click on that and send a message to their class. And that we use this on a regular basis for teachers to send home even work in progress that they're doing in the classroom with them. And this is the journal, as Dr. White Wallace had said about the journals. This can track the students' work as they're going through, and then they can share that with the parents as well, so it's a nice online portfolio for them, and the activities. I believe you're going to see these 3 activities on here, and there's a duplicate there, and then we have counting collections. So when you go through there, there's some tools. I'd like to take you through and show you how to utilize the tools right now. So if you clicked on the first activity, of the counting, there's different things that you can do here. I just want to point out on the left-hand side, there's a text box. Students could write in the text box, and they could record themselves. I might humiliate myself, but I'm going to record myself for you people, okay? I'm going to click this. And it is now recording me and what I'm saying. So the students could actually record their voices and their answers so that they don't always have to utilize the tools. But we want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to drag over the 5, and then I can check my work and see if it's correct. And then I can stop the recording when I'm done, and it would then, the teacher could play that back as they record that and get feedback from the student. There are other tools down here along the bottom in which we can do some drawing. I can circle and do other things with that as well. So it's a great way for the kids to interact and get that preschool, kindergarten level where they can't really read or write at this point, but still we can hear their learning. Any questions for me?
Let's let them do the second activity.
Okay, so we can come down here and you guys can get on and take a look, and then I can show you. I can see once you're done your activity and you click the green check up here, you'll send that to the teacher and it will be done. So I'm going to give you some activity. I'm going to walk through this.
All right, so board members, I hope you're doing your activity because we're going to show your work on the screen for everybody to see. So you're going to complete your second activity. This activity is in the standards of counting and cardinality, also one-to-one correspondence, your basic foundational math skills. Students will do this, they will submit, and then the teacher will provide text or voice feedback to the students.
So you can see here at the bottom, I have 4 responses at this point.
7 students have not completed their work.
And I have 4 waiting for approval. I'm going to just go out and I'm going to look at the approval here. I want to come back here. And I can come down and look at my responses. Wait a second.
You know what I'm saying? Do we just keep going? I'm finished. I'm going to over.
I know I don't know who responded yet, so we can see.
Superintendent Smith, you okay over there?
Rick?
So talk to us, because guess what? Parents have to deal with this also at home, trying to help their child do the homework. So, Dr. Smith, talk us. What's the difficult part for you?
I'm trying to say I can't say.
So, what we've done for some of our students is we give them the digital pencils to help them and also to strengthen their fine motor. But the drag and drop is a skill that students have to learn with technology. So after the first few weeks, our pre-K students are pros at this. They're basically doing their homework and their classwork on their own and completing them.
It's okay. We all have our moments. So if you can see here, these are the 4 that I can now click on. I'm going to click on this. Oops, wrong thing. I'm going to click on this one. And I can add a response to the students. I don't know why it's not working for me right now, but when I go into the student's response, I can actually click on that, add a response. Here we go. Hopefully this
now, while Sean is grading somebody's work,
or trying to,
Dr. Smith had a fumble, right? Fumbles, frustration are real. How do we combat that? Because we want parents and students to use the tool and complete their homework. So between Ms. Rowan and myself, we offer open Zoom homework times in the evenings where parents can just jump on, and if they're having an issue logging in, or if they're having an issue with a task, they can ask us. So we do that like once a month, every couple weeks, depending on what the parents need. We love our teaching assistants in pre-K. Shout out to them. They translate and they will jump on. We have a Spanish and we have a Portuguese. So they're able to translate for those parents who need help and need help logging in. As we continue to support the one-to-one initiative in our district, I call on Mr. Ramirez regularly because we have to have support for parents in the evening. It is key and it is important. When they're home with their students, whether it's pre-K to 12th grade, there needs to be a live person somewhere who can help them with this technology. So, out of giving birth from this, Mr. Ramirez and I are talking about having a live in-person help desk in the evenings once a week. So if your laptop isn't working, you can't log in, your credentials, parents can call or parents can come in person to a designated location and get help. Ms. Rowan, we have 2 seconds left, and I want to show them the last platform. Okay. Which is Waterford Early Learning. Now, Waterford is not new to the district. We've started with Waterford at least 10 years ago. Waterford Early Learning is an adaptive curriculum program that we use in pre-K, vertical, all the way to first grade. Our students get on every day for 15 minutes in school and 15 minutes at home. Why do we love this? Because the trajectory will bring our students to reading. Last academic year, we graduated 91% of the pre-K students at kindergarten level. A large portion of that is due to Waterford. It gives the students practice in writing, foundational reading, phonics, mathematics, and something that we don't talk enough about, executive functioning skills. Executive functioning skills are key for developing students. So in our single sign-on, students can go into their Waterford, they can do their modules, and it adapts to every single student's personal level. Last but not least, when we talk about parent communication, we provide parents with printouts.
In words.
It's fine.
This helps you learn to read.
Sorry, I'm a little ahead of you, but the students would work on this for 15 minutes, for at least 4 times a week, and it adapts, as Dr. White-Wallace was saying, to every keystroke the child puts in. So if I'm getting it correct, I can move up and beyond my reading level. This can take a student up to the 3rd grade level. Or if I need help, it's going to reintroduce information to me, lessons to me, so that I can have that, go through that. So that's what they'll be seeing and working on as they go through this. Thanks. And we get reports from that as well, and the teachers can get feedback from that, and they can share it with their parents as well. And we offer activities for them to do at home as well with them. And again, It's just it's a nice, gentle program for non-readers and beginning readings to utilize that.
And yes, because I see Trustee Kelly, yes, it is steeped in the foundations of literacy and reading, because I know that question was
the
coming.
phonics.
There is built-in phonics. The students will get letter recognition, upper and lower case, and they'll do blending and different things like that. So it's a built-in phonics. And there, they are incorporating the science of reading.
Why is it not when I'm looking at the...
Because I'm actually jumped in as a student, and this is where they're currently functioning at.
This student is in rhyming already.
No words or no letters are put on the page with that?
No, this is rhyming listening, which our students tend to struggle with.
Right, but there's no visual for the...
They will. It depends on the module.
And the specific skill that they're working on at that time. I can show you the different skills at some time if you'd be interested in that. And we can do a deep dive.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, that is how we are making learning fun, reading and writing in pre-K, and making homework fun for our students. Does anybody have any questions?
Do you have data? You said you've been using this for 10 years. So those students are still in our district that use this Waterford program?
Some of them have been.
Some of them are, yes.
Do you ever track any of that
data?
Yes,
we have in the past. Actually, since the pandemic, we have not been tracking it and comparing their test scores or their DIBEL scores and things like that, but we have. And those students who have been in Waterford tended to test out at a higher level than those who have not been in Waterford. And I could dig and try and find you those old reports that we have for that.
It would be interesting to see.
And we're hoping to start to do that again now that we're getting back on a regular basis.
The key to Waterford is the time. So when we talk about implementing programs are only as good as the fidelity of the implementation, right? So if a program prescribes that you have to do 15 to 20 minutes a day, 4 days a week, or whatever, if we stick to that, and that's why in pre-K we have a very clear technology schedule in every classroom, what time the students get on, all of that other stuff to make sure that we meet it with fidelity. We're now working with parents to make sure that they are getting students on every night. And we're removing all of the barriers. So when a student does not have Wi-Fi at home, we are providing Wi-Fi to those students through the Office of Technology.
So they have the computers, these pads go home with them?
Yes. So in pre-K, and this is my rule, nobody else's, pre-K students do not bring devices back and forth. Pre-K students tend to not go straight home. They go to babysitters, daycares, families. Very high incident of loss and damage of iPads, so they keep their iPads home. What we do is we keep a core of 5 in every classroom, and the students will rotate through those 5 to complete tasks throughout the day, like during center time or whatever their designated time is.
So it's not like an app that they can just access from any...
No. It's single sign-on rostered, particular to them and their student ID, and we'll follow them all the way through vertically.
So what are the shortcomings? What are the shortcomings that you find? If you were to...
So whatever product I use in pre-K, I sit on the board, right? So when we adopted our curriculum and I looked at it and I said, there are holes, there are not enough places for students to practice, I wrote 8 workbooks for the company. I sit on the Waterford board and I told them part of their shortcoming is the appeal of the digital figures that they use, right? So our students are gamers. They need to see more things that resemble gaming. So sitting in control groups with them and test groups, I've been working with them on changing the digital feature to make it more engaging for students. Providing some break time, some game break time that's not necessarily academic to make sure that they can finish through their 15-minute module. Those are some things that I think we can improve on. I also think getting everyone at home on 15 minutes every single 4 or 5 days a week. That, it's hard to control that at home, but we're working diligently on that. But we know we're responsible for the 6 hours here. We're going to make sure we do as much as we can in class.
Thank you.
But I would like to say that the program is fantastic, Gail.
Thank you.
You've done a wonderful job. I have a granddaughter that attends the pre-K 4, does not want to miss school. Does not want to miss school. And I mean, sickness, nothing. She's going to school. So she loves it. You're running an excellent program. I've worked with Seesaw, and I love it. So keep up the good work.
Thank you guys so much. It's my honor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gail White-Wallace, for that presentation. I'm sorry I failed pre-K, but maybe... Oh, just experience. Okay. So next we will have Brian Simmons. He's the director of CTE, and he will be showcasing CTE.
So thank you very much. I will not be giving you homework this evening, but I will be giving you a critical question to chew on. The question is as follows. What is the most important question you will ever have to answer in your life? And I will give you 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You can confer with the partner, the crowd, folks at home, trustees, Mr. Raimondi. Please consider this question. What is the most important question you will ever have to ask yourself in your life?
Most important. What career path?
Trustee Saunders.
What's for dinner?
I think we're getting the... I do want to say, I want to jump ahead to a slide to kill some of the time here. We will be mentioning a computer troubleshooting program in the CTE department that's going to partner up with the IT. I think it's very timely that this will happen. Tonight might be a good night to announce that. But we'll say that later on. So, yes, Trustee Saunders, you are correct. The question and the research shows that what do you want to be when you grow up is a question that will determine the quality of your life, your relationships, your financial health, how you view yourself, how you view the world. And here's the thing. It's not just a question that you will answer when you're young. It's a question you will have to ask yourself when you're 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. Because with emerging technologies and markets, this question will change a lot. So in the Career and Technical Education Department, we seek to prepare students to engage in this question in a very rigorous and immersive way. So we're good. The 4 cores of CTE are career exposure, career exploration, career engagement, and career empowerment. And this involves really opening the question, what might I be interested in? Following this by reviewing lots of different careers and then having hands-on immersive experiences partnered with industry professionals, supported by academic rigor, and allowing yourself to earn all sorts of credentials along the way. In short, this is how you answer the question of what I want to be when I grow up. But I'd like to draw a distinction tonight, which is that one might look at this and say, okay, this is just vocational training. And that might be an outdated model, because modern CTE and CTE at Mount Vernon High School is really the following. CTE is academic. It's rigorously academic, and it prepares you not just for a job, but for a variety of options in life. Post-secondary options, career options, and building upon a lifestyle that's going to support yourself, your family, your community, provide you with these options for the next 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70 years. In short, it's the full banquet, everything. So, and by the way, let me go back for a second. Lest you think that we went to Google Images to pull these beautiful pictures of Mount Vernon students, we did not. We had a photo shoot this week in the CTE department. So every photo that you see tonight was taken with students in action, on task. So this is a list, a portfolio of the current CTE classes and programs at Mount Vernon High School. Right? So it's sort of a robust list here. It gives students lots of different options. But I would like to drill down a little more deeply, and actually, I want to go back for a second. We've added one more program, and this is a big announcement that was made at this podium a few months ago. We have added EMT, emergency training, to our list of programs. And I just got back from Mount Vernon High School, and I spoke to two of the trainers who were elated that they could bring this to Mount Vernon students, Mount Vernon High School students, and Rebecca Turner Academy students, as I look at Mr. Troy Newby, who I will be calling on later on. And the students are on fire. Some of them are in this room. And I made a statement a few months ago that we are going to radically go back to the basics with CTE and have our students save human lives. That might have sounded like embellishment. It is factual, and I will prove it later on in this presentation. But they are extremely excited, and we're extremely excited to have this. Okay, so let's go back to the basics and look at where this program was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, there was one in the year 2022, 2023, that was actually last year, we had one New York State approved CTE program, and that was culinary arts. 1 year ago. The next year, we had an ambitious CTE director by the name of Noel Campbell who came in and decided that he wanted to kick the door down and just do the impossible. And when I tell you that it's how difficult it is to get a program approved, I cannot stress the oppressiveness of the paperwork and the bureaucracy that is involved. And it was done. And this is truly unprecedented in Westchester, New York State. You ask state officials and they say, there's just no precedent. It just can't be done. But they did it. We did it. The teachers, we had now 4 New York State approved program approvals. This year, I sat down and spoke with I started on September 1st, the last week of August, met with one of the state representatives, and I do have a witness in the room, the aforementioned Mr. Campbell. And we spoke with the state and said, I wanted to be humble and said, I'd like to get one more approved. And was categorically told, it's too late, give up, go next year, not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, in October, we just got 3 more New York State approved CTE programs. Cosmetology, barbering, Cisco cybersecurity, please stand up. We have Mr. Ricardo Borland right here, representing barbering students. Gentlemen, please stand up. We have our barbering students right here. Yes. Excellent. We have our cosmetology teacher here, Ms. Agnes Taylor. Let's hear it for her. Very popular, Ms. Taylor, I see this. And again, very, very timely, we have the computer networking, right? Because Cisco cybersecurity, Mr. Burnside, Teacher Burnside, please stand up. It's great to be up here and take the limelight. It took a tremendous amount of coordination and late nights and emailing, texting over weekends to have all of this come together. Great. Okay, so we have 3. These programs are approved. But I made the point earlier that CTE is academic. I would like you to keep in mind that along with these approvals came 3 sets of articulation agreements. The first one is with College of Westchester. So the barbering program is 6 college credits that a student who completes this program will receive. It's hang on one second. I will tell you exactly what the credits are in to give you a little specificity here. One who completes this program will receive credits in Introduction to Biology, Human Biology, and Introduction to Business. The same is true for cosmetology. If you complete this program, you will get 3 credits in Human Biology and Introduction to Business. But I really, before I just run past all of this, I want this to be digested. One might fall victim into thinking, okay, well, you're fashioning hair, you're cutting hair, that's nice, and that's what you'll do. No, this is a doorway into who knows what. Owning a business, going on to many options that we can't predict right now. This is a start. This is a trajectory. This is a launch pad. Cybersecurity with WCC College, and I put 6 credits up there before I ran it. So let me dot my I's, cross my T's. It's actually 7. So if you complete that program, you will get 7 college credits for cybersecurity. So that's wonderful. But right now, we will have in the following year 7 approved programs. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, 7 approved programs. Is that just like a feather in our cap for Mount Vernon? Does it just look pretty? Is it like a ribbon? I'm here to tell you that it's not about optics. It's about outcomes. So what this means, in very operational terms, is that these are 7 graduation pathways. That means for a student who completes one of these programs, for any student in high school, you have to complete 5 Regents exams. The core 4, math, science, English, social studies, and you have to pass 2 of the social studies exams. For one who completes one of these pathways, not only will you receive the college credits that we mentioned, you will forego having to pass one of those 2 social studies exams, which is the most chronic stumbling block for students with disabilities. And before anyone asks the question, Dr. Pierce, let's hear for Dr. Pierce from Mount Vernon High School, who's part of all of this. We have 167 students with disabilities participating in CTE classes. So this is an enormous opportunity for them to show their differentiated way of understanding learning in the world in a way for them to graduate. And this is open. When we look at systemically, as a district, how do we improve graduation rates? This is an enormous way to do that, along with the CDOS commencement credential that students taking CTE classes can learn. So that's what it means. It's about optics. It's not about optics, it's about outcomes. So there's more progress going on in other programs. I'd just like to share some of it with you. First is we have an expansion of the automotive. And if you could play that first video for me, I think this will say better than what I said. This was 2 weeks ago.
The Mount Vernon City School District is expanding opportunities for students in auto construction. What a DJ that there's not out there in this.
There are, and now a new school is going to get access to a partnership with Ford and the Rockland Community College to get kids those high-paying jobs right out of high school. We are going places. It was just last year, Mount Vernon started its Ford Automotive Career Exploration Program, allowing kids to intern and work at Scarsdale Ford.
Some students, what they have to do, they have to bring students back to those people, right? But we're able to say, we will do it right here in Mount Vernon.
Now, students at the district's new alternative high school, Rebecca Turner Academy, can also take part.
Technicians can be a boatload of money. And students at Rebecca Turner Academy can be career ready on day 1.
That boatload of money promised is between $80,000 to $150,000 a year. Industry leaders say there's a high demand for techs right now since many are nearing retirement age. Mount Vernon alums say they're already seeing success.
None of that would be possible without an amazing instructor, Mr. Lyon. And this amazing program that I've been giving to a home, just thank you.
Veronica Jean Seltzer, News 1.
That was November 16th. So I want to point toward not only the expansion of the automotive program that's going to happen, but when you take on a new initiative and you have to assess what your capacity is, it sounds good to say, we'd like our program in this school, in this school, in this school, in this school, but the reality of it is there's a limited amount of capacity that you have to really pick your shots. And one diagnosis that I had early on was I really wanted to use to supplement Mount Vernon High School was Rebecca Turner Academy. I know this came up a lot in these meetings a few months back, and the idea that we have these students who are, in some cases, ready to enter the workforce, and it's gotten to the point, I want to let Mr. Newby speak for a minute. He brought some of his students here who are going to partake in the EMT program and the auto program, but we've developed a situation where I like to feel like when the phone rings and he sees my name, it's, where is he? Oh, it's a little like Christmas morning. He knows something good is happening. So I would like, all right, come on.
Good evening, everyone. Board President Kerwin, trustees, acting superintendent, the Mount Vernon community. I brought these two students up because learning and success can't be done in isolation. So this partnership is key, right, in making sure Terrence is successful, making sure Ashley, who's in the EMT program, is successful. So Mrs. Simmons, Dr. Pierce, this partnership is important because without that partnership, our students are not going to be successful. We are a community and one solid unit. It's not in isolation. Success has to be for everyone, not for the few. And I guarantee you, Terrence, we're going to be with Ford, we're going to do great things. Yeah. Ashley, she's going to save a life. So I want to say thank you to everyone, especially the board, for supporting the Rebecca Turner Academy, because as you look at this board here, and you see these eyes, our students want to be seen because they have goals, and they're going to accomplish those goals with the support of the board, the community, our sister school, Mount Vernon High School, and programs that's going to make our kids successful. Thank you very much.
So Mr. Newby said, save a life, which is a great transition into our CNA program. We're not going to play the video just yet, but so we have some of our nursing assistant students right here, and with this slide theme of program progress this year, a year ago we had 4 students in the nursing assistant program. This current year we have 10. And I was just at Sarah Newman Jewish Home last week, and we are striking the clinical experience, and I felt extremely comfortable with the facility and with the leadership there. And when I sat down, I spoke with the director of the facility, she looked at me and she said, you know something? Your students, we want to get them opportunities. I thought I would just be a nursing assistant. Then I became a nurse. Now I run the healthcare facility. Mm-hmm. So we don't know what the ceiling is.
That's right.
The other really point of progress is that 7 of the 10. Think about this level of rigor. And we have 4 of them right here. One day a week, we'll go 20 minutes away to Sarah Newman Jewish Home and then trek back to do the EMT so they can have a stackable credit. So by the time they're 18 years old in their first year of college, they can be certified nursing assistants and certified EMTs before they even walk through the doors of their first day of college. Now, so there's a video that's hot off the presses in the past, I don't know, literally 2 hours. Can we play this video? They have a message for you. They might come up and say it themselves, but we want to play this video.
Good afternoon. The Mount Vernon High School to the New York Blood Center Blood Drive January 17, 2024 and the Small Gymnasium. Donating 1 pint of blood will save 3 lives. 38% of the population is eligible to donate blood. Fewer than 10% actually do. This is a problem. Every day, many Americans depend on blood donations from generous volunteer donors for critical components of their medical care. It is truly the most personal natural resource.
Save lives by making the commitment today to donate yourself and to ask your friends, colleagues, and loved ones to donate with you. There will be snacks and a feel-good buzz for saving up to 3 lives. Sign up today. See you on the other side.
Hi, Mount Vernon community. Skills USA is having our first blood drive of the year on January 17th at Mount Vernon High School. Did you know that 1 donation of blood can save 3 lives? Sign up today. See you on the other side.
So the nursing assistant program is just nourished by nursing instructor Bonnie Ball, who just wakes up night and day to give these students opportunities. And then the Skills USA is being brought about by Bonnie Ball, by Samantha Cohen, and Jamie Lorman to have unique volunteering opportunities and competitions in CTE. So, but back to the point of the blood drive. We have a deficit. So, not to put anyone on the spot right now, but we are taking volunteers, and we're down. We need about 22 more. So, the students in blue, stand up right there. We'll have one of these. You can sign up for the 17th. And just remember, we're all on camera right now. So, it might be a good idea to sign up. But that is a completely student-run initiative. They're running the whole thing, the students. Okay. Cybersecurity, I feel like in the first half of this meeting, I don't even need to say much about it because it seemed evident why this would be important. But the news in this program, even beyond the approval, is that just had a conversation with Mr. Ramirez. There will be a partnering with the cybersecurity program and the IT department where students will be fixing district computers and partnering up with industry. Mr. Ramirez has many connections, and it really comes down to resume writing and all the rest, so this is all in the works. Okay, next up, this year we are initiating school-based enterprises in culinary arts and print production. So we've had a lot of industry-based projects that were kind of isolated, wonderful things like Ms. Cohen's students will cook for the board meeting or cater something. But this is an attempt. We're being trained by BOCES. Both of those instructors are Mr. Jason Pritchett and Samantha Cohen, to create a school-based enterprise, which kind of changes the nature, creates a mission and a vision of an actual business. Where there's a business plan, the students run it, they do the marketing, and it takes it to that next level. It also helps the district with our academic goals to increase the amount of work-based learning hours. So again, with students with disabilities, it moves them closer so that they can get the CDOS commencement, credential, and they can have this immersive experience. And this is the trial run. We're going to start out small, build out systematically, and then eventually we're going to do it with other programs. Like as one small example, in the print shop, you have Jen Cardillo, who does a lot of the printing. Well, now they're developing sort of like an app on Schoology, where in Mount Vernon High School, orders will go through, and the students will be able to field and do them. This is going to be a template. We're going to trial and error to see, once you get the sweet spot in this works, how do we grow that out to the district, eventually in a couple of years the community. This is how you build a business, and this is what's happening. Okay, next up, and I'll try to go quick here because I know we're going long. Entrepreneurship. This is a project that Trustee Saunders has been in on. This last year, we all went to Scarsdale High School, and we saw this amazing studio design lab that was $1.5 million, and we saw students doing incredible things with these 3D printers and studio design thinking. And we wanted to have this as an initiative down the road, which we still want to have happen. over the summer, Dr. Pierce and I were walking through the campus of Mount Vernon High School looking for potential spaces. If we had a dream wish list and we could get this $1.5 million one day, where would we house this? While we were walking through, we walked past this house, this storied house. And I said, did you ever go in the house? No. Did you? No. Let's go in the house. Franklin let us in. We went in there, and within 30 seconds, it was amazing that this whole house was built. It split it in half. We looked at each other and simultaneously said, how can we get the kids involved in this? In came Trustee Saunders. We sat down. We brought in the consultant from Iona College, Lisa Yokana, and we decided to have the consultant train our entrepreneurship teachers, Ms. Romanelli and Mr. Dorick, to train the students in Stanford's systems design thinking that is used to solve UN sustainability goals with one task. How can you come up with a new purpose for the house? Came up with this title. The house the time forgot. And they're going to be working on this all year long, and this is engaging the students. And we want to have an event in the spring that's like a Shark Tank, where the students will come out and they will come up with their solutions, and hopefully the following year we can implement them, that it could benefit the school. Okay, here's some of our partners. We've expanded them this year. On the upper right is something called the Food Education Fund. They are a premier culinary support nonprofit that only services, I think, 4 or 5 schools in the DOE. They've never left. Was able to secure a partnership with them. They're going to put their toe in the water. They're going to come to Mount Vernon High School next week to do a visiting chef. And I was at my previous school in the DOE. It was called Food and Finance High School. As one indication of the bandwidth they had, during the pandemic, it was a 400-student school. They fed every family during the pandemic. They've never left the city. They're going to come into Westchester and just initiate, a relationship with us to see if we can grow this out. And that's really a precursor to the need for transportation. I'm just throwing this out there just to share it now, to say that as we expand and as we look in different areas, we would like our students to go to Manhattan, which is the metropolis of the world that's right in our own backyard. But we have to really come up with creative solutions to how can we get students intra-district and inter-district out into the world. That's something that, again, as we look at our capacity, we don't know how to do that. Wrapping this up, Dr. Smith said in the video, she said at that Ford event, said that we are very unique as a district, and we are. I call us like the purple unicorn. There is no one like us in that we have the facilities in-house and these programs in-house. Other districts, they ship the students out to BOCES, but we have all of this capacity, but how do we galvanize it, and how do we solve these fundamental challenges like transportation? That's an open-ended question. No answer today, but I do want to thank the board for approving the buses for the weekly visitation for cosmetology and barbering to bring the students back to school. Thank you very much for approving that. And we've also put in the request for the one day a week when the students come back, the CNA students from Sarah Newman, to get their EMT training rather than jumping in public transportation. If that one day a week, those 7 students could be transported. So thank you for your attentiveness to these concerns. I'll skip this slide. This is basically just all of the ways we've tried to cross-pollinate with the district. Throughout the year, we've opened it up, the apprenticeship fair, the career fair. We've invited the other high schools. They've come. They've seen it. We're going to have a CTE showcase, so that's another objective. Literacy in CTE, along with the district academic goals. There's a real opportunity in CTE for authentic writing experiences and reading experiences, whether it's business plans, marketing materials, research papers, you name it. And we're partnering up with the ELA department to see how we can infuse literacy objectives in CTE. And yes. And these are basically our goals as laid out for the year. Build sustainable CTE capacity, right? Because this is a lot to cover. with all of these different facilities and programs to come up with CTE data tracking with all these approved programs, the next step is not to have, let's get 10 more. It's like, we have responsibility now. Like, we have to track this stuff. We're accountable for it. Okay. All right. So, and finally, to make learning fun. I would just like to say thank you to the board. Thank you to Mr. Campbell for helping me out with the movement. Dr. Pierce, thank you.
I want to share with everyone that we are currently going through the IBCP authorization process. You forgot that piece. Thank you, Dr. Dodd.
Okay, so thank you, and thank you to the C&I team that has been extremely supportive with Dr. Doggett and Dr. Jones, helping the entire team to do this. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you for your time, your patience, and your allocation of resources to these goals. Thank you to the teachers, CTE teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Thank you, Mr. Simmons.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pierce and Mr. Newby and all staff and students. We're heading in the right direction. We appreciate all your work. Thank you for that presentation. You really showcase CTE.
Thank you.
I just want to quickly indicate that we will be having a webinar, a cry for action, all hands on deck. This is a parent webinar, and it's scheduled for December 18th, 2023 at 6 p.m. I also want to mention Dr. Gail White Wallace indicated that we have a parent help desk. That help desk will be here at the Ed Center on Thursdays between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., and that's to help parents with computer and technology. So we'll be open to that. Lastly, I want to mention the Winter Carnival performance is scheduled for December 20th, 2023 at the Denzel Washington School for the Arts. I ask everyone that's able to attend, and that ends the superintendent's report.
Committee reports. Okay, thank you so much. We will start with Trustee Middleton.
I want to say good evening to everyone tonight. I don't particularly have a committee report, but I just want to say that I am glad for all that I have heard and my heart has felt tonight in terms of the presenters and their presentations. I want to say kudos to our students especially and all that they're engaging in, where they are, and definitely my love because I was a counselor for the alternative program, so connecting with Rebecca Turner is awesome, and I have had the opportunity to go by with Terrence Barnes, and kudos to Ashley, but it was great to engage the students and to see just how enthusiastic they were, and he was definitely in terms of the Auto Tech program. So I want to say kudos to you, and I want to also say that I did go by and attended the Graham Elementary School just about a week ago. They had a great and awesome first Markham period honors roll breakfast, and the parents came out, unbeknownst to the principal because she didn't get feedback like she should, but they showed up. And the students from at least grades 2 to 8, it was just awesome to be able to engage and to help give out the certificates and then to serve. I'm all about serving, and to serve a wonderful hot breakfast. And kudos to Miss Carter who made hot cakes that were just awesome. One of the parents, and to the PTA president, Ms. Graham, to Ms. Norfeld, who was the liaison that joined in, and it was just great. And I want to say kudos to the teachers, absolutely, and to Dr. McGregor, and it was just great. I I do want to say that one of the things externally is good to see everything, and it's good to take it in, and it's good to move with it. But I want to say internally that we have said in the beginning of our time from July that we want to keep the H in human in terms of the Human Resource Department. And I want to say that we need to do that on the high chairs that a lot of people sit in, that we need to keep that H in human across the board in terms of our employees and in terms of all those that are connected on every level in this district. Me today, you today. So I think it's important that we are mindful of it and that we are appreciative that we are where we are. There are no big I's and no little U's. Okay, so I do want to say that it just doesn't stop at human resources, but the H in human, because we are, is across this board and across the district. And I just want to say kudos tonight. Optimism is in the house.
Thank you very much, Trustee Middleton. Trustee Jenker?
No.
Nothing? Okay. Trustee Saunders?
Hi, good evening.
Mike.
Yeah. So good evening. We had a meeting with Noel Campbell, HR meeting with Noel Campbell, myself, Trustee Kerwin, Trustee Kelly, Trustee White, and myself about the new processes that he's doing and putting the H back in human resources. So there were some hiccups that we found that we talked about that he's working on, and so we hope we'll see some good results in the near future. The HR committee, the CTE committee, just presented. So, but I do want to bring some more programs, sewing programs, to the high school. And as far as special ed, I'm planning to meet with Miss McKinney Bromley tomorrow. She didn't give me a time yet, but I'm waiting. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Saunders. Trustee Lindsay?
We haven't had a security meeting, but I've been in communication with the new director over the last week, and we're at 105 employees for the security, but that also includes 2 supervisors as well. So we've brought our numbers up significantly, and we're at a good capacity. And I had a discussion with him over the weekend that he's also been discussing with a couple of the different people within the district, developing new protocols and responsibilities for the different people. I've been getting some feedback from some of the monitors, and they're quite happy with the direction they're going in.
Thank you very much. Trustee White?
I really don't have a facilities meeting. I know we've been saving a lot of money by doing a lot of in-house work, but we didn't have our meeting. I see that Mike's here. Do you have anything to say, Mike? Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee White. Trustee Kelly?
No meeting we didn't have any meetings on education.
No. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That ends our committee report.
Budget? No budget? You ain't got none?
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any follow-up on old business? No old business, great. Okay. We'll go on to our resolution. Can I have a motion for 5.1, Human Resources 95A, certified?
Motion.
Second. Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 5.2, Human Resources 95B, classified?
Motion.
Second. Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 6.1, authorization to update the Mount Vernon City School District Mentor Program for new teachers?
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 7.1, authorization to hire staff for the Mount Vernon Aquatic Facility for January 3rd, 2024 to June 22nd, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye.
I do have a question about the pool schedule. I do want to know, when is it that the pool is open to the community? I remember last year the pool was open to the community. The community could have gone in and used the pool. Is that still in standing?
So I have some information for you. It is my understanding that the pool is open Monday and Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then Saturday from 10 to 1 p.m. for the community.
And is it free, or do they have to pay some sort of minimum fee?
I see $5 per person.
Okay, I think we need to get that on the website, because community members have been asking when is the pool is open, because when we opened the pool, we did promise that the community will be able to utilize the pool. So if you could go back and...
yeah, that's in the work. It will be on the website pretty soon.
Thank you so much.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 7.2, update appointment of technology links for the 2023-2024 school year?
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns, discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 7.3, authorization to approve the services of the parent liaison for the 2023-2024 school year?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 7.4, authorization to approve hiring additional extended learning opportunities staff district-wide?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. I have a motion for 8.1, approval of student services, pupil personnel services, memorandum number 9, dated December 5th, 2023.
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 8.2, approval to award the winners of RFP number 2023-2024-14, special education and related services for ages pre-K to 21.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 8.3, authorization to approve the Special Education Extended Day Program and the For Our Children Unique Social Emotional Development Program for the 2023-2024 school year?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
I have a question. Dr. Gabaton, if you could just explain what this program is, please.
So this program is going to provide services to our special needs students. after-school services and support, just like our general education student. One of the things we are going to do, we're going to be monitoring their progress. They're going to be taking a pre- and post-test. They're going to be using fun learning so we could determine how they're moving forward. That's the purpose of both the SEED program and the Focus program.
Okay, and would this be funded by the grants, or it would be out
Yes,
of the general
ma'am.
fund? Grants. Thank you.
Questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. I have a motion for 9.1, authorization of BOCES transportation contract for the shuttle service between BOCES program locations for the 2023-2024 school year.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. I have a motion for 10.1, approval of general funds transfers 2023-2024, dated December 5th, 2023.
Motion. Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions?
So I do have a question. I would like to know, Mr. Silver, why is it that we are moving or transferring so much funds into this other category with just for special needs throughout the year? Why is it not that we're not budgeted properly for this? I guess is the question.
Dr. Gaviton is going to speak to that part of it, why we needed more funds in there, and also Michelle McKinney-Bromley is going to speak to that as well. I'm going to turn this over, and then I'll answer questions regarding the money later.
Okay.
So this particular transfer is because at the end of the school year in June, we are not billed for our students who are in the charter school. We do not receive the bill until the end of the school year, so this amount is to pay last school year's bill for services rendered throughout the 17 charter schools that service our students.
So this transfer is only for the charter schools, or it's only for other organizations?
No, these are for our special education students who are placed in the charter school, just for the charter school.
So that's just one. So
Yeah, and also we notice we have an increase of parentally placed special needs students in these schools. So we don't have a choice but to pay for these funding, unfortunately.
Okay.
I just wanted to add, we met with the state recently, and they indicated that we should put a clause in so that if they don't submit their bills in a timely fashion, we won't be responsible for payment. But since it wasn't in their clause, we have to make the payment. But moving forward, they'll have a timeline, a deadline.
And we verified these students that actually went to these schools.
Yes. So the attendance was also included with the bill. So we did verify attendance that the students were.
And they are Mount Vernon students.
They are Mount Vernon residents.
And these are new enrollment
Some
or
are,
additional
some
continuous?
Some are from last year and some are new students.
Dr. Gaviton, don't we have programs in Mount Vernon that could compete with these programs that these parents are moving in?
Unfortunately, many of these students we do not. Unfortunately, many of these services we do not have. For example, most of our teaching assistants are not ABA trained. Some of the students who are in these schools are because they're very violent, they're hurting our staff, they're destroying our school property. We have to have placement for them. Miss McKinney-Bromley and Dr. Kelly have been looking in ways maybe we could bring some things in district, but that would require we train our staff, hire more speech, hire more OT, hire more PT. We would have to increase our capacity in order to bring some of these students back in district. Currently, we do not have enough staffing to provide these services or the training.
So this is something that's being rectified?
Yes, we are working on it. One of the RFPs you guys approved today is to provide these type of services to our students, so we don't have to send them out of district, or for parents to choose a charter school because we don't have the services. We are diligently looking into ways to ensure our students are getting their services. One of the ideas we talked about is if a student is missing 5 days of school, to still have the speech therapist still provide services within that time. So we are working on ways on minimizing the costs.
Thank you. And Mr. Silver, I guess that's it? Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you.
All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 10.2? Authorization to appoint Naraki Smith LLP as internal auditors.
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 11.1? Authorization to amend EFPR group contract key personnel names.
Motion. Second. It was me.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain? Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 11.2? Authorization of preferring charges pursuant to Civil Service Law Section 75 and appointment of hearing officer for hearing.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 12.1? Authorization to enter into a contract agreement with the law firm of Aiello and Canick.
Motion.
Second.
Questions, concerns, discussions? All those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Abstain?
Abstain.
Abstain? That's it?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for 13.1? Authorization to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation, the financial history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation, and to receive legal advice on a pending matter.
Motion. Motion.
I need a second. Any opposed? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and we will not be back from executive session. Have a good evening. Thank you.